Modernity reflected a new kind of society and thinking that emerged out of the French Revolution. The American Revolution was driven by the Industrial Revolution. There was a great deal of technological progress and change happening in Europe and America in the early 19th century. There are some inventions in 1800. First, the first electric light was developed in 1809. Second, the printing press in 1810. Third, the steam locomotive in 1810. Fourth, the first photograph was taken in 1814 by a Frenchman. The camera was developed were they excited about this new technology that could capture a person's likeness in the same way their painting could. Some artists believed that painting was dead and they hated everything that had to do with the camera. Other artists, such as Bierstadt, found that photos useful to capture landscape and returned to his studio to paint from them. Courbet, Manet, and Degas also used photography to their advantage. French chemist Nicéphore made the first surviving photographic image in 1826. To obtain the hazy image, he exposed a polished pewter plate for 8 hours. By 1837, the daguerreotype became the first commercially available photographic process in which an image is exposed onto a mirrored surface of a metal plate for 10 to 15 minutes. 1880s, portable handheld cameras and roll film took over. The telephone was invented in 1876. It is important to notice that about 75 years after the camera was developed, art began to look less representational and more abstract. Movements that began in the 19th and 20th century. First is the Impressionism, Fauvism, Cubism, ug Surrealism. There are two dominant trends of the early part of the 19th century. First is the Neoclassicism. Second is the Romanticism. The Neoclassicism means neoclassicism, a Western movement in painting, sculpture, and architectures of the late 1800s and early 19th centuries. And now let's talk about the Gallery of Polish Art in 1800 to 1945. The Gallery of Polish Art, initiated by Tadeusz Dobrowolski, the first director of the museum, constitute the pre-war museum collection, supplemented by acquisitions which followed the restitution of the museum in 1984.
And now, I will be discussing European art in 1800 to 1945. The European art is like the Walt Disney Old Art Collection. The history of institutional collecting of artworks of modern times dates back to 1834, when Pomeranian Artistic Society, or what we call Kunstverein for Pomen, was established. Its collection, as well as the ones gathered in the second half of for 3 years, it had been managed by Dr. Walter Riesler from Munich, a classical archaeologist. Adolf Despite financial limits of the museum and differences in outlooks between its management and conservative public within the space of the second floor of the Northern Wing's works by Vincent van Gogh, Alexis van Jolensky, Georges Despaccio, and Moisey Kogan were presented. Since 1926, there was also a presentation of splendid paintings by Hans Thoma, Max Liebermann, or Karl Schenk, which given by Frida and Wilhelm Göring complemented the collection of modernist German and art expressionists.
These are the examples of ancient arts in European times: the Last Supper, the halo around the Mother and other halo, the Way of the Cross, Christian Church, Miriam College Chapel, St. Clair Church. Arts under religion: ancient Egyptians, gods, and ancient African tribes, effigy and polarized gods, Shiva, and symbols of Buddha. Arts under Renaissance: the Holy Family, the School of Athens, Samson and Delian, David presenting the head of Goliath to Saul.